Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Here are some very, very insightful words from Eleanor Roosevelt. You gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. Followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance on a Thursday lunch bunch day. Good morning. And a good morning to you, Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, including Western Waste Services, always at your disposal. Call, get on the route service, 734-6969. Right now, let's have our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jerry, God bless you, man. Thanks for calling in. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you very much.
You have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless you and all your people that are listening.
Thank you, Jerry. You're a good friend. Good friend. Thank you. Oh, my goodness, it's time for the weather. And the weather brought to you by K&R Rental. A lot of things going on this weekend. Good weather forecast. A lot of work outside. Well, K&R Rental has all your tools and equipment, everything to get the job done for you at your home, your business site, whatever. Yeah, they've been in business since 1979. And they'll deliver and pick up power tools and heavy equipment right there at your site. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn, 678-3122. Here's Gina with the weather.
Another typical summer southern Idaho day. We are looking at partly to mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour, so that'll be our cool off. High of 90 is what we're expecting tonight, low of 52. Sunset is going to be at 9:06 tonight if you want to check that out. For tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 89 with an overnight low of 53. For Saturday, again, sunny skies, high of 90 with an overnight low of 56. High of 93 for Sunday, and as we go back into work on Monday, sunny skies, high of about 94. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
And well done, my dear lady. Thank you so much. K&R Rental bringing you the weather to kick things off this morning. Roger and the crew over there at 256 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Number to call, 678-3122, K&R Rental. Hey, Merv May, come on in here. Let's sell some cattle.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there, here to get all 31 going down, 31 going down, 30.
Oh, that is the chant of the world's best auctioneer, in my opinion. I love his chant, man. He can really get it out. And that's Merv May over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call for cattle consignment and sale information, 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, Lance Udy, the sale that works for you. Lots and lots of butcher cows coming in today from TS CLK Dairy, Oak Valley Dairy, Acme Dairy, and they're going to have a good trailer line run. Sale time at 11 o'clock this morning at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Again, that number is 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, hey, good set of steer calves there. Here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I selling $35. Zeb Bell, get the bottom.
I don't mind getting that kind of a price. Hey, thank you, Merv. Appreciate it. Good sale today, always at Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Let's see, Lunch Bunch today. Let's tell everybody about what's going on. We're going to be at Lunch Bunch at, of course, 11:30 this morning. And I urge you to come on. If you've never been there, come on down and eat with us, and you might win some door prizes. My goodness, we have a good time at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Oberlin and Burley, America's Diner. And they've got another location, too, at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. I mean, what a list of brand new burgers. Whoa, my. If you like breakfast, though, like I do, they've got all kinds of different breakfast items. You got to try those strawberry and cream pancakes. Oh, I think I'm going to have that again today. That was fantastic. You'll love the food, and you'll love the service at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland and Burley, America's Diner. And it is the home of Zeb's Lunch Bunch today. Everybody be there. By the way, too, our thanks go out, and we'll be talking to Rita a little bit later on this morning. She does a fantastic job with us every Thursday. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, 678-0459, the number to call. And they'll have your order waiting on the counter so you can zip in, zip out, you're gone. You're back at home. They've got all your heating, cooling, and electrical needs, and they've got all your air conditioning filters. So stay cool. That's right. Stop in and get those air filters from Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, open 7:30 to 5, Monday through Friday. Calls are welcome, and I would thank you. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. So I bought this chair for this desk that I sit at. Randy out there made me a beautiful, beautiful broadcasting desk, and I thank him for that again over the years I've had it. And I bought this chair specially for this desk, and it's a higher chair to the point where it elevates a little bit higher, and you're not really sitting down. You're kind of on a stool basis, if you will. And I don't know what happened to this thing, but yesterday Jack Euler was on the program with me, and I didn't notice it at first, but little by little I kept getting lower and lower until all of a sudden, looking across the desk at Jack, I was looking up to him. This son of a gun had gone all the way to the floor, and I don't know what happened to this thing. I don't even know if it can be repaired, but it's a brand new chair. And little by little, and you get up and you push the lever on the bottom of it, and drop, it goes clear to the top. Why, if you were in it, it would push you right out of there. You'd need a parachute. And I don't know what happened to it, but anyhow, all of a sudden, if, like, I'm talking on the radio this morning, and you hear a little pause, it's because I can't get up close to the microphone. I have shrunk down to the floor. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Going to talk about yesterday, we really hit a hot button with a lot of people talking about our child abuse to our younger generation. Woo! I mean, we had quite a few calls, people left messages, etc., and I thank them for it. We'll talk about that in just a minute. By the way, Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2. 2 in Burley. The number to call, 678-1191. You know, you got the aches and the pains and the sprains and the strains and everything, and maybe you're recuperating from surgery, or maybe you had an accident or something. Oh, my goodness. They can help you get back to being you. Absolutely. They did me. They can do the same for you with all the exercises and the use of the hydrotherapy pool. Oh, that's good. You're going to love that. And the people there are so knowledgeable. So give them a call today and start working out to get back to being you. 678-1191. That number again, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Absolutely the best. Those are really, really great people. Oh, too, before we get into our story, I want to remind you, Ag Express is looking for drivers, and I'll tell you what a great job opportunity. Full and part-time positions. Retired folks are welcome to call and apply, and they'll work around your schedule 2 or 3 days a week, whatever works best for you. And you're home every night. Hi, Martha. Hello, Albert. And don't forget to new and maintained equipment, vacation schedules, benefit programs, 401k plans. Yes. Call today, Dale and Paul at 438-8886, Alan in Twin Falls at 731-2495, and Chad in Burley at 670-7219. Ag Express is looking for drivers. Ag Express is looking for you. Absolutely. You stop in and see them today. You know, yesterday we were talking, and I was really thankful for all the nice people that called, and we had most everybody in agreement that really we are abusing our children by not being strict enough or caring enough to make them understand winning, losing, right and wrong, rules and regulations. No, you can't do that. No, you won't do that. And yes, you will do this. And I knew that every time we talk about a subject like that, you're always going to have your naysayers out there, your Dr. Spockish types. They're going to criticize, oh, you're too hard on these little kids. No, we're not being hard enough. We are not being hard enough. And we've got a generation, and again, I want to emphasize, not all. I never said that yesterday, and I never have. We have got some very, very sharp, really geared for success younger people in our society. And even right here in this valley, some outstanding people. But we're looking at a society, and we're looking at a generation of the millennials. They don't care. They have no responsibility. They don't want to work. They want everything handed to them. They're blaming their parents and their grandparents, i.e. me and everybody else, for their shortcomings. And that's just not the case. Get up out of the chair, get off your dead butt, go to work, be responsible, and pay your own way. And we're letting these kids off the hook. And for all of you that called and left little messages on my phone, etc., and by the way, that phone, I'll give it out. I don't care. My cell phone number, 312-2976. I appreciate your calls. Every person that called yesterday and left a message was absolutely in favor that we've got to be, we in general, have got to become better parents and grandparents and much stricter and enforce regulations right and wrong. Thank you. I appreciate your calls. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Al Gore, you know, I have not missed him. I have not missed old corpuscly fat Al for a long time, and now he's back in the news again. I think he makes statements so that he knows the very liberalized news media is going to pick up on anything Al Gore says. Oh, Al spoke. Well, let's go to the top of the mountain and we'll relay that to the American people. But anyway, I'll tell you what he's talking about again in just a moment, so stay tuned for that. Oakley Pioneer Days is in the thick of things for this week. Wow. Are they busy and are they having a good time? You better believe it. And there's some great businesses up there that welcome you up up to the great big Western celebration of Oakley Pioneer Days, like Clark's for Shopping at 100 East Main Street in Oakley. Oh, my goodness. They've been in business since 1924. And Harlow and the crew always appreciate all the support people give them during Oakley Pioneer Days and for the rest of the year. Stop up to Clark's for Shopping, 100 East Main Street in Oakley. Also, Oakley Valley Stone, 204 West Main Street in Oakley. What nice people, and oh, that rock is so beautiful. I mean, for fireplaces and headstones for a loved one, landscaping boulders, Oakley Valley Stone. Let me tell you something. It is the best and beautifies your home. Oakley Valley Stone, 204 West Main Street in Oakley. You know, I want to also mention, let's see, today is Thursday. And I don't know if it is the biggest, but we're going to call it the world's biggest. Gymkhana is going to take place at Oakley tonight. Oh, boy, those old boys on the Vigilante Committee, they better have got some sleep last night, because tonight, you're going to be up all night long. 6 p.m., they start their great big Gymkhana, and this is one ripping big affair, and people come out of the woodwork to participate, which is a great tribute to Oakley Pioneer Days. Tomorrow night and Saturday night, the open rodeo and co-sanctioned with the IMPRA, and fireworks and dancing and all kinds of goodies are going on this weekend, including on Saturday at 11:30, the great big Oakley Pioneer Day Parade. All of this and so much more up in Oakley for Pioneer Days, where they say our pioneer heritage, past, present, and future. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Everybody sleep in this morning? Come on, give me a jingle. Also, Al Gore, he's back, like I said, in the news again, and he said that Donald Trump, as our president, is letting the world down. He's letting the entire world down because Al said Trump fails to recognize the ultra-extreme danger of climate change. And Al Gore said that climate change is the most serious problem to mankind today, right now, this hour. We're having summer. We're having some warm days. It will not be very long when the clock ticks ahead, and the days on the calendar in a very short period of time are going to signify that we're going into fall, and we will notice a cooling trend known as the fall of the year. Golly, that sounds almost natural, doesn't it? And these people, like Al Gore, they cannot admit defeat. They cannot admit that they saddled up a dead horse. And over 90% of the people asked, wait a minute, enough of the climate change. We've got to worry about our economy. We've got to worry about health care. We've got to worry about paying our bills. We've got to worry about ISIS. We've got to worry about all the crackpots like Kim Jong-un in the world over in North Korea trying to shoot at us and blow us up. I'm really not too concerned about a couple of warm days in the summertime. And Al is trying to say it's the most serious problem known to mankind. And for some reason, the press, they fawn all over Al Gore, and they give him all these front page stories. I guess I'm guilty of it too for even acknowledging it here this morning. I want to talk a little bit about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center. And boy, these are such nice people that absolutely tell you, come on over, visit the facility, see what we do here, and this might be just the place for your loved one. So check it out today. They invite you to visit the facility anytime at Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, 924 Christian Way in Rupert. The number to call, 436-3200, and they're the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cassia area. So please get a hold of them today. They're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center in Rupert, 436-3200. Hey, come on, give me a jingle. What happened? Normally by this time we've had maybe a half a dozen phone calls or something, and I'm beginning to wonder if everybody just kind of slept in this morning. So give me a jingle quickly at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to get this story in. I have been extremely critical of Arizona Senator John McCain. I have not liked his politics. I have certainly not liked a lot of his ideology. But this morning the story takes on a different twist. And human kindness and caring has to take precedence over political viewpoints. And that's why when I heard the news last night about Senator John McCain diagnosed with brain cancer yesterday, my thoughts and my prayers, I'll be very honest with you, go out to his family and John McCain himself. Regardless of political position, human caring always should take a precedent. And right now I know that from both sides of the aisle that people are really pulling for Senator McCain. And all his life, John McCain has had to struggle. All his life he's had to fight to try to stay a very rugged individual. And I know he will fight for this. Again, our thoughts and prayers out to Senator John McCain. Calls, welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, I'll tell you what, the people up in Shoshone, and I know they're listening, I had a couple of jingles yesterday, they are going to be ripping with a lot of fun, July 22nd through the 30th, at the Lincoln County Fair and Rodeo in Shoshone. I made the statement when they were on the air, and I said this again yesterday, this is a county country fair the way it was meant to be. I mean, everybody knows everybody else. Everybody cares for everybody else. Everybody has fun with everybody else. This is a county fair. Absolutely a country county fair. And they're going to have junior rodeos and ranch rodeos and IMPRA rodeo and tractor and truck pulling. They're going to have all kinds of fun up there in Shoshone with the theme this year, From Pioneer Days to Modern Ways. Up at the Lincoln County Fair and Rodeo in Shoshone, July 22nd through the 30th. Try to be there. It's a lot of fun. All right, come on, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. In just a moment, let's talk about O.J. Simpson. Where were you in 1995? We'll talk about that in a minute. Burley Area Merchants Association, Bama, with their big sidewalk sales that start today and go through Saturday. Great stores in the Burley area where you can do your summer shopping. And, boy, I know this sounds funny, but already we got to think about this. Back to school shopping. That's right. A lot of great local businesses, and you need to support them because you'll be boosting local employment and protecting economic development. I'm telling you what, they've got some dandy good businesses in this area at Burley Area Merchants Association, Bama, with their great big sidewalk sales going on today, tomorrow, and Saturday. All right, your turn. Come on, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. One of the greatest football players in the history of football in this great United States, O.J. Simpson, from way back in 1967, when he led all the college running backs in rushing his first season at USC. And then he won the Heisman Trophy in 1968. And then in 1969, drafted by the Buffalo Bills and played 9 seasons with the Bills. And then everything went sour in 1994. Remember that? I said 95 a minute ago. I misspoke, pardon me. 1994, where Nicole Simpson, his wife, and Ron Goldman were stabbed to death outside of her, Nicole Simpson's, home. And then, of course, in 94, and I can remember exactly where I was and exactly what I was doing when I saw the Bronco chase supposedly, with O.J. Simpson in the back. We were at a rodeo in California and just getting ready to go to the performance in the afternoon when all of this started to unfold with O.J. Simpson in a nationally televised slow-speed chase across the California freeways as the police were urging him to surrender. Well, then, of course, you know the story from there. And then during the trial in 95 of June, the prosecutors asked Simpson to put on a pair of gloves that were believed to be worn by the killer. The gloves appeared to be too small. And then, of course, the great line by defense attorney Johnny Cochran in his closing arguments, "If it doesn't fit, you must acquit." I got to admit that I was absolutely stunned when O.J. Simpson was let off the hook by the jury. I absolutely couldn't believe October 3rd, 1995, when O.J. Simpson was acquitted of the murders. And all the evidence that I watched the trial, I mean, people were glued to their TVs over this, you know, watching the trial and all the different personalities involved in the trial. And O.J., I couldn't see how there was any shred of evidence that was not against O.J. Simpson. He walked. He got out. And then you remember that Simpson, in 2007, accompanied by 5 men, confronted 2 sports memorabilia dealers in Las Vegas, and he got arrested and sent to prison in 2008. Well, today, Simpson is appealing for parole. And if 4 of the 7 parole board members agree and they raise their hand, yes, O.J. Simpson will be out on parole, a free man, somewhat, October 1st of this fall. I'd like to hear your thoughts. For those that are old enough to remember watching and reading and understanding what was going on in that trial, the first trial with the murders, leading up to the second trial with the memorabilia dealers, what are your thoughts about O.J. Simpson, quite frankly, kind of a charmed life, lucky life, of getting away with what I think literally was murder? What are your thoughts? Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Later on this morning, we're going to have Juan with Barry Equipment and Rental. Hold on, caller. I'll be right there. Barry Equipment and Rental in South Lincoln and Jerome. Addison Avenue West, Twin Falls, 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. They do have all the equipment to get the job done right. All the Bobcat excavators, all the shapes and the sizes. Oh, you don't know how to run one? Well, fear not. They've got a great big sandbox out behind the business, especially at the Burley location, where they'll teach you how to drive it, and you will become a wizard. They've got all the equipment rentals, all the retail equipment sales, everything at Barry Equipment and Rental. Jerome, Twin Falls, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, quickly, a couple things. That was the advent of reality TV. When they saw that people were so glued to live action, they realized that they had something there that was going to be appealing to people. And it's 2017, and that's all we've got. Now, let's face it, some of it is deplorable.
It's trash.
Is this. He did get away with it, and, you know, in our justice system, a shadow of doubt will clear you. You're innocent until proven guilty. And, you know, what was so weird is his actions when he was in the, you know, the Bronco, the white Bronco driving, and he was, you know, acting so strangely. You said to yourself, wow, he must be guilty. He's acting, this is totally weird what he's doing.
Yeah.
So they went to court, though,
And in America, O.J. got off for whatever the reason. You know, remember the jury and all the situations that went along with finding a jury that was going to be fair and objective?
Yeah.
Well, who the hell didn't know?
Well, you know, Randy, there were so many diverse personalities involved in that case. I mean, from the Judge Ito all the way down to the staff of the highest paid lawyers in the country that Simpson hired with the head attorney, I believe, Johnny Cochran, and many others. It was just absolutely a circus, and every day of watching it on television was a different part of the three-ring circus. And I got to admit that when the jury announced not guilty, I about fell out of my lazy boy.
Well, I tell you what, it was a strange thing, and it's still part of our fabric of our society. You know, he's in the Lovelock prison in Nevada.
Right.
I don't know if it's a federal prison. It must be. And my wife's brothers work in the mines, and they farm and all along that corridor from Elko all the way to Reno. And one of my nephews works at that prison and was telling me some of the crazy things that O.J. has done in prison that weren't, you know, criminal.
Yeah. But
they thought he was losing his mind.
Well, and quite frankly, that's very possible. But going back to the original crime, the original murders of Goldman and Nicole, his wife, what are your thoughts? Do you feel, just by watching the trial, studying and reading about it during those times back in '94, did you think without a shadow of a doubt that with the blood that was found on Simpson's socks that belonged to his wife and the bloody clothes and the shoes and, I mean, all the different facts, how did he ever get off and found innocent?
Like I say, it's a shadow of doubt, but his actions since then have shown that he is, you know, prone towards, you know, self-discipline, I guess you might say. I do not know. I know that, you know, when I was a young man and I had a girlfriend and I was losing her, I remember feeling jealousy that was so enraging that I said to myself, boy, this is not a good thing to feel. And it ain't no fun being out here in the world, but you see, you can understand the jealousy and how it would have maybe led to what happened, whether or not we know it or not. I don't know. You got to believe that he did it.
Yeah. And well, we know the memorabilia dealers, he did that, and he was sentenced originally to 33 years in Lovelock, Nevada prison. But they claim that he is a, quote, model prisoner, and now after 9 years of serving time, they say that he's up for parole. Today they're going to vote on it. Of the 7 members on the parole board, if 4 raise their hand and say, adios, amigo, he's out of there.
Well, you know, this is the thing. When O.J. Simpson had retired from football, he was such a highly respected football player, but just a commodity. He was worth a fortune, and they couldn't hire him enough to do ads.
Yeah.
And his ads were so effective that at one time O.J. Simpson was the most effective spokesperson for advertising in America.
Yeah, look at it.
And it went on for years like that.
Yeah.
And then he blew it.
Yep. Absolutely let the fame, the wealth, and everything else, and plus the fact he started reading his own publicity headlines and taking too much to heart. But I like you. I remember all the Hertz commercials. I remember all the Wheaties commercials. I remember everything about O.J. running through the airports. I mean, the man absolutely had the world, and he could just shake it. He could get any kind of a nickel out of that piggy bank he wanted.
He could. And to say that America is prejudiced towards black people is such a crock of BS because, you know, did you know anybody that didn't like O.J. Simpson? They couldn't give a crap what color he was.
Well,
They loved him because of his personality. We loved that guy.
Well, he went from the TV commercials, and then, of course, he had some very memorable acting jobs. Even though he wasn't the best actor in the world, he was in the movie called The Naked Gun, and the movie was such a comedy farce that everybody had to kind of laugh at it, and he did a good job. He made a buku bunch of money off of that movie, but the whole thing is, I feel that he got away with murder.
But you see, have you ever had a dream, and I know I got to go.
Yep, I do too.
And you wake up in the morning and you think, at one time I had a dream about, I thought I had committed murder in the dream. And I woke up the next day and I thought, it was so real. I thought I had done it. And then I, of course, came to reality, but my thoughts were, I'll never sleep good again in my life. I'll never be the same. If you do these things, how the hell do you live with yourself?
Well, now that you told me that you had that dream of committing murder and mayhem, I'm not going to sleep easy knowing you either.
I'm pretty harmless. I work pretty hard.
I got to run. I got to run, buddy. Thanks so much for your call. Appreciate it. Oh, my. We kind of tell all here. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Hey, don't forget Redder Showcase, 2611 Overland and Burley. They're having their annual indoor tent sale. Yeah, they put tents up inside. Why? Well, that's where you're going to find the best buys. 12 months, same as cash financing, and details are all in the store. I mean, hey, you got to check out the ranges and the refrigerators. Oh, my goodness, they got some for $4.99 under a tent. Yep, and the Serta mattresses on sale. Ooh, all kinds of great buys throughout the store. It's the annual indoor tent sale at Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland in Burley. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Kind of like Michael Vick and other athletes. O.J. Simpson, of course, they had it all. They had it all. They had the fame, the notoriety, the huge paychecks. They had and could get anything they wanted or needed. And then lost it all because of greed and their own personal problems of not understanding right and wrong. Ties into what we said yesterday. All right, give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle. There is another problem brewing in the Trump administration with Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General. And I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't know if this one's going to be an easy one to try to cover up, settle, or whatever. You know, Jeff Sessions, as Attorney General, when everything started to come out about possible Russian involvement or collusion, never had a shred of evidence since then, but Jeff Sessions said, I'm going to recuse myself, and that kind of hung Donald Trump out to dry without an AG that would be basically testifying and working for him and with him in any investigation. Well, now it looks like that Donald Trump's not real happy. And he said some things yesterday that in regards to Jeff Sessions, that Sessions should have never recused himself. And if he was going to recuse himself, he should have told me before he accepted the job, and I would have picked someone else. Woo. Right there, I think the door just opened up yesterday, and I think, and I'll make a prediction, that Jeff Sessions, either tomorrow or the possibility of the first of next week, will leave the job. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. It's time for our weather forecast brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Where are they located? Well, they're across from the Minidoka Hospital emergency room. Yes, sirree, Bobby. And they're there to serve you with better hearing. You got a little hearing problem and you notice, well, I can't hear that. I can't hear that siren. I didn't hear that doorbell. Hey, it might be something to do with medicine. It might be something to do with a disease. You better have it checked. Get a hearing screening today. Call for an appointment at 312-0957. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Another typical summer southern Idaho day. We are looking at partly to mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour, so that'll be our cool off. High of 90 is what we're expecting tonight, low of 52. Sunset is going to be at 9:06 tonight if you want to check that out. For tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 89 with an overnight low of 53. For Saturday, again, sunny skies, high of 90 with an overnight low of 56. High of 93 for Sunday, and as we go back into work on Monday, sunny skies, high of about 94. That is your weather for Zep at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And the number to call, 312-0957. Make an appointment today and start hearing what you're missing. Okay. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had a little story on this about, I think it was February. And it was a kind of a personal observation, and it happened again the other day while I was waiting for Deanne at the supermarket. And I'm just scared that we're going to pick up the paper some morning and we're going to hear or read about a mom and some of her kids that have been run over in a parking lot due to stupidity and crazy, reckless driving. Now, parking lots are full of cars, full of people, and there's people going here, there, and everywhere across the street from the parking area into the front of the store. This particular store where I was sitting waiting for Deanne has stop signs put up in front of the store on two different areas where they walk out of the doors. And it's all in yellow paint, warning everybody to stop and observe all the pedestrian traffic and everything. And I was sitting there, and here comes out of the store a mom with three little children. I don't think any of the kids, let's see, the oldest possibly about maybe 6 years old, and one 4, and then one just basically a toddler inside of a shopping cart. And she's got her hands full pushing the cart. She's got her hands full keeping the kids right there with her. Going across the crosswalk. Everything she did was fine. And here comes a car. And the guy driving this car, I wished that somebody could have just got a hold of him and given him a personality adjustment. A young man driving a rather loud, obnoxious car. And I have nothing against loud, obnoxious cars because I used to have one. But not observing any kind of speed limit whatsoever and just barely missed hitting this mom and those three little kids. It was so close. Matter of fact, I went, oh, man, I could not believe it. And then, to make matters worse, this imbecile yelled out the window and told her to get out of the way. Did he stop at any stop sign? No. Did he slow down for that crosswalk? And then he had the audacity to yell at the mom to get out of the way. Well, the angle of where he was, I could not see his license plate number or get his license plate number, or I would have, and I would have turned him in myself. But this kind of lunacy in a parking area by a supermarket or anywhere else, a mall, slow down. What is the big hurry? Are you trying to show off maybe that you've got some kind of a muscle car? Are you trying to show off and everybody go, hey, look at old Herman over here? I don't know. but slow down in those parking lot areas. Somebody is going to get hurt. Somebody may get killed. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I really wonder what happened. Everybody go to sleep this morning? Come on, give me a jingle on the landline. I'd love to hear from you. And while I'm waiting for your call, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. So I'm chuckling because, some days we get so many calls, we got to hurry through them. And then other days I'm sitting there going, hello, world? Are you out there? Hello, world? Get where you're going this summer with the best of tires for your cars, pickups, and SUVs. With all the different tread designs, all the different great tires, and, of course, all the great service for you at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. And ask about the free pre-trip safety check, too. A visual inspection of the tires, including the air pressure, wheel alignment, checking for tire wear, front-end components, brake components, make sure everything's right and going to stop for you. Shocks and struts, battery, including a load test. They want you to leave home and have a safe trip and come back. So there you go, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley, the best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You stop in and see those good folks today. Once again, like I've said, 397 times this morning, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Like to hear from you. Lunch bunch at 11:30 this morning. And we're going to be over at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, at 11:30. I'm going to hurry as fast as I can, or better said, as fast as the speed limit will allow. Got to be careful. And we'd like to thank for our gift certificates, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin with the Redneck Cup Holders, and we invite you to be there. We just have a good time as a group once a month over there at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner. You be sure and stop down. We would love to have you become one of us. Okay. All right, once again, give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Wheels, by the way, are you going to make it to Lunch Bunch today? About your mom and your grandma, what are they going to do?
Well, my grandma is actually with my dad down in Colorado, since he is working down there.
Okay.
And my mom, yesterday, I know me and you talked a little bit about it this morning.
Yeah, you had a flood, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I guess one of the ditch riders wasn't doing his job, and the canal ended up breaking, and it completely flooded my neighbor's pasture, our pasture, and completely around my house.
Holy smokes, are you building an ark, boy?
It felt like it. I felt like being Noah and going out there and getting some wood put together and building a boat.
What about all the fish that you could have caught right there on your front steps?
Well, if only there was some fish. I mean, I really haven't been fishing yet, honestly, this whole summer, which is sad, but
I didn't know you liked to fish.
I do. Actually, I enjoy fishing.
You know what? I know I'm going to make a little deal with you, young man. Okay. And one of these days, and I want you to remind me, in the next week or so, make it about 2 weeks, you call me and boogie over this way, because I know a little fishing area that you and I can catch some really good fish. Big fish, trout, good ones.
You do realize I'm going to hold you to it.
Well, I hope so, because, I am the world's worst fisherman, and normally fish only get caught on my hook because they are absolutely bent on suicide. But I know you're a better fisherman than I am, so I could learn from you.
Well, I really appreciate that, and I think that sounds great. I think if we could go out there and do that, I think maybe we'd both learn a little something.
Why, we'll get Goober to go along with us, and we'll have a little picnic, and we'll just catch a few fish, and we'll forget about the radio business, and we'll forget all about the problems of your house being underwater, and we'll just have a good time.
That sounds good to me. I will definitely call you in the next 2 weeks, and we can get that arranged.
All right, Wheels. Doggone it. Don't forget either, because I'm looking for a little time off myself.
Will do.
All right, buddy.
That sounds great.
All right. Hey, we're going to get ready to go to the CBS News in just a few minutes, and here's a rundown of what we've got coming up the rest of the day. 9:06, we're going to talk to Kyle over at the Chamber of Commerce office, Minnecasia. I bit my tongue so hard. Ouch. Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce, Kyla. And then at 9:15, it's going to be our last program today with Tony McCammon from the University of Idaho Horticulture Department. So if you got a lot of questions or calls, hey, Deanne, where's that weed you wanted me to talk to Tony about? You got that here in the house? And I don't mean weed like marijuana, folks. Don't get nervous. This is a crawly, creepy little green weed on the ground. And that's going to be at 9:15. Rita Ramsey's going to be on at 9:30. And then at 10:10 this morning, we've got Cassia County School Days with Superintendent of Schools in Cassia County, Galen Smyer. Business Salute, Juan over at Barry Equipment and Rental. And then at 10:32, we're going to be talking to the Vice President, Senior Vice President of all the D.L. Evans banks, and that's Jim Evans. Nice man, nice family, and they're one of the major sponsors for our Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame banquet this year. So we'll take a little break. Wheels is going to play some music up to the news from CBS, and we'll see you back here in about 7 minutes. Oh my, here we go, hour number 2 on a Thursday. Zebeth Ranch, I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and also some great advertisers like Western Waste Services.
From the canyons of the Snake River and all across southern Idaho, we're always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, we care about our community, our resources, and this great land. Western Waste Services is lending a hand, always at your disposal. Western Waste Services, the motto says it all. Always at your disposal. Call. If you're new in the area and you need your garbage picked up, oh my, they can help you. Call 734-6969. They're very loyal to the community and the people that they serve the best. Western Waste Services, as I said, always at your disposal. 734-6969. Also, we want to remind you about our friends over at Ark Animal Hospital. Hello, Dr. Bill and the whole staff at 750 21st Street in Heyburn. Number to call, 678-1177. That number again, 678-1177. You know, if you're taking your dog out hunting or fishing or just walking out in the brush and everything, watch out for ticks. And your pet can also give you those ticks. You don't want that gift. So be prepared and always contact Ark Animal Hospital. They can and they will help you at 750 21st Street in Heyburn. That number to call, 678-1177. They do have the warm hearts for the cold noses. Really nice people. And I mentioned it before again this morning. I'm going to say it again. Lincoln County Fair and Rodeo, July 22nd through the 30th up in Shoshone. This is a country county fair the way it was meant to be and hopefully will always stay. This is really fun in the country up at Lincoln County Fair and Rodeo. Junior rodeos and ranch rodeos and IMPRA rodeos and truck and tractor pulling and all the booths and the great food. It's all there with the theme this year, from pioneer days to modern ways. Lincoln County Fair and Rodeo, July 22nd through the 30th in Shoshone. Really good, folks. Let's head on over with the frog in my throat with Kyla right now at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Zeb. We're switching it up today. I'm Chris.
That's just what I said. Good morning over at the Minnecasia Chamber of Commerce to Chris.
Perfect, Zeb. You're never wrong.
Okay. What's going on over at the Chamber?
Pardon me?
I say, what's going on today over at the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, one thing that's going on is that we're out of the office, so we're all just running around, and Kyla's going to a meeting, and she's like, oh, can you call Zeb? And I said, oh, I would be happy to, because it's my favorite thing to do. But we are all geared up for Oakley Pioneer Days, of course, and we're looking forward to the parade that's going to be coming up on Saturday. And I actually did go out to see Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I cannot recommend it enough. And my husband, who is not a fan of musicals per se, said that was one of the best shows he's ever seen.
Wow.
It's really well done. So that's a lot of fun. And those tickets are available at 677 ARTS. And you should definitely get them. I'm sure they're going to be selling out because word's out and it's a great production. They had a lot of fun with their bump and rub. The rodeo's going to be going. And, of course, they're going to be doing their fireworks. The parade, I'm not sure, Zeb, if the parade has changed times. This is the first time this year, or they did it last year. But typically they've done it at 5 o'clock at night, and now they're going to be doing it, I believe, at 11:30.
That is exactly spot on, yes.
I'm not sure if that's a new change or if I'm just behind the times.
No, I think it is a new change. I had I had Cash Taylor on the phone the other day, and he mentioned that too, that it's a new time, 11:30 on Saturday. Don't miss it. Everybody be there. Great big Oakley Pioneer Days parade.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And then if we look a little forward in the calendar, we've got the Minidoka County Fair and Rodeo coming up. And that's always a lot of fun. So bring your family out. It's free admission. There's also a free concert that PMT sponsors. So it's easy to find out all the details on that as well. So if you say that you're bored in this area, then you are not looking past your nose. That's all I have to say, because it's just from one event to the next.
And, this is a busy, busy time of the year. We're right now on the threshold of all the county fairs starting up in the next couple of weeks. And, boy, over there at the Chamber, you folks are going to be busy.
We definitely are. But we love it. And we love the Chamber. We love the community. We have great support from the community. And we'd always invite any new businesses out there to join the Chamber and let us help you grow your business. That's what we're there for. We can help you with your marketing and your social media, and we just are here to serve the community, and hopefully people know that that's what we're doing.
You told us you were outside running around, but where are you outside running around? Where are you at right now making this call?
Actually, I am just about to drive past Let's Ride.
Really?
So I really am. People think, are you local? Yeah, I am. I'm just going past Let's Ride right now, and I am kind of hungry, so I might stop at the wayside.
You know something, Chris? Of all the cell phones I've ever had on the air, yours sounds the best. I don't know what company you're with. Don't say it on the air, but I'll tell you what, you're one of the first cell phones that sounds really good.
Well, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. I'm planning on staying with my carrier for a little longer.
All right. Well,
with that.
If they have questions...
I do want to remind everybody to be safe out there. This is a time where lots of people see kids jumping off the bridge.
Yeah.
And, boaters, beware of that. Pay attention. Our office is right there by the Snake River, and so we get to see all the people on that walking path and having a fun time down at the boat docks. And we are so fortunate to live in such a beautiful area, and an area that just provides so much entertainment. So if you're on the river, I guess I just want to say be careful and enjoy that water, because not everybody gets to have what we have.
Absolutely. Chris, real fast, tell everybody how they can get a hold of the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, gosh, you can give me a call on my cell phone. That is 654-8229, and we will just take any calls that you have and any questions that you have. If you know people that have moved into the area, we have relocation packets for them. We're here to hook people up that are moving to town, and we get calls every day about people moving to the area. So the area is alive and well and doing great.
All right. Thank you, Chris, for calling in this morning on behalf of the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce. God bless you, and we'll talk to you folks next week on Thursday.
All right. right. Thanks so much, Zeb. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. Nice lady right there. Hey, real quick, I want to remind everybody about our dear friend. He is Joel Heward, his family, and the staff over at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. And it is a family place. A family lives there, and they serve families with very flexible hours so that if you need help, you need assistance, you need questions asked, you be sure and get a hold of them today. Hanson Mortuary with the telephone number 436-5636, always assisting you and upholding the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. So again, folks, when someone passes in your family, remember people that are there to help, there to assist and take care with you. Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, 436-5636. One other quick word. I want to remind everybody about Burley Area Merchants Association, BAMA, with their big sidewalk sales that start today, and they go through Saturday, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Wow, it's going to be great. 3 big days of sidewalk sales with the greatest merchants in the world right there in the Burley area, and you can do all your summer and back-to-school shopping, and boy, you talk about promoting economic development right here in your own area. Yep. Burley Area Merchants Association, BAMA, with the big sidewalk sales going today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Right now, it's time to grow, and with us is University of Idaho horticulturalist and a doggone nice guy, Tony McCammon. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you, too, Zeb.
You know, Tony, before we get started this morning, I would like you, if you would, to give a real nice thank you to all of the sponsors that have helped bring you on my program with some outstanding information this year. So go ahead.
You betcha. I want to thank my Master Gardener associations there in the Mini-Cache area as well as here in the Twin Falls area. Sears there in Burley, they donated to this program. As well as Monty's Humic Acid, Plant Food. They're a great company to work for. They've always been very supportive of me and my programs. And Southern Idaho Horticulture Program in general, which is my general program, and horticulture for all 10 counties in the Magic Valley and Wood River Valley areas.
Well, you have done an outstanding job on this program, and you know, we'd like people to call in and just kind of ask Tony some questions right now on this last program, anything and everything. And Tony, I've got a question, and I know you can't see this because you're not on the internet watching my program with the webcams that I have here in the studio, but Deanna's got a weed that she wanted to know what it was. It's kind of the leaves on this weed look like little arrowheads, about maybe 1.5 inches long, and kind of an obnoxious little weed. What in the world is this thing?
Well, arrowheads, that makes me think of morning glory, and field bindweed is another name for it, but that's a pretty common one here, noxious as all get out. The root system is, and then this is just going off of your description with the arrow leaf form to the leaf, but that's what I'm thinking. Does that look like what it is? I'm sure you know what field bindweed is.
It does, yes, and it's just all over everything.
Yes, noxious weed and terrible weed. The root system can go down as much as we've been able to find, as deep as 30 feet.
Oh my!
So that's a lot of storage, and then the flowers are on right now, so that's a really good time to, if they're in your lawn. The lawns can usually outcompete them, so if they're in your lawn and you see flowers out on your lawn, now's a good time to head out with maybe some 2,4-D or some triclopyr or something like that, and that'll knock them back. We can usually outcompete them in the lawn. The problem is when they get in our crops. Holy cow, that is a mess. The seeds, once they go from flower to seed, shoot, the seeds are good for 40 years.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's a really tough weed to manage.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Now, what's the best way to take care of it, you said, as far as treating it and getting rid of it, or do you ever get rid of it?
Well, you never get rid of it. You just do the best you can to manage it and try to keep it from going to seed for 40 years.
Oh, my.
I guess the other option would be to move.
Okay. That's not an option.
Okay, not an option. Well, if that's not an option, then yeah, you just keep managing it the best you can. Try to keep it from going to seed. So when you see them start to flower, that's the best time to manage them. When they're just coming out of the ground as little seedlings, that's obviously a good time to manage them, but a lot of the little seedlings are actually, they're connected to a root system somewhere. And so just repetitive management, hoeing, and those type of things. And when you have a chance and they're all up and they look great, sing to them, water them, fertilize them, and then kill them.
Okay. All right. Tony, with all the programs we've had talking about lawn care and talking about tree care and everything else, here we are coming into the dog days of August. August right around the corner, as a matter of fact. Anything special about the warm, hot dog days of August that people need to take care of with their lawns or their shrubbery or their trees? Anything different at that particular time of the year?
Yeah, mainly it's don't change anything. You'll have this temptation to turn up your sprinkler system and water more, and my grass is starting to go a little bit brown. I need to fertilize. Don't change any management plans. Just stick with your regular watering program. Do not fertilize. If anything, that'll burn up your lawn even quicker. And just keep your eyes open for anything out of the ordinary insect-wise. We're going to start seeing a little bit more borer, meaning tree borer activity in our spruces and in our shade trees. Usually in August, that's when we start seeing exit holes and start to see some damage in the tops of our trees.
Uh-huh.
So kind of keep your eyes on that, and if you see anything like that, you might give the extension office a call and see what kind of management practices we can start working on. Usually, and we just had this conversation this last weekend up in Salmon, but when you see exit holes at the end of August, it's usually too late for a lot of trees.
Really? You led right into, I had a letter that came in from a gentleman over in Eden, and he said, I really have never had my own home before. I moved from a rather large urban area out into the country. How do I know if my trees are getting sick or what I need to do to protect them every year?
Well, you're looking for a certain amount of growth, and it really depends on the type of tree. If it's an aspen or a poplar or something in that family, you're looking for a good 12 inches of new growth each year. I mean, significant growth. If you're looking at your apple trees and fruit trees in general, anything over 6 inches is too much growth, and anything below, anything 2 inches or less is not enough growth. And that's kind of how I gauge when I go through my yard or go to other people's yards, and I can kind of see 3 or 4 years in the past and see how the tree was responding to fertilization, to the watering regime, and just to gauge how healthy that tree is, just by the amount of growth that it'll put on each year.
Okay. We had a letter from a very nice lady in Kimberly that thinks you are absolutely a person that can walk on water with all your knowledge. And she said, I really appreciate him coming on the air and talking about various problems and everything. And she said, I don't know how to tell the different trees from each other. I mean, how do you tell, she said?
Yeah, well, the best thing to do is maybe to get a guidebook, a woody trees and shrubs of the Rocky Mountains or something like that. There's some type of guidebook. You might even go to the nurseries and just walk down the aisles and see what kind of trees they have. Most of the trees that somebody has in their yard, you could find at a Webb nursery or a Kimberly nursery, or you just walk down the aisles and kind of look to see if it's the same thing. But really, the easiest way is to take a sample of your branch and some leaves, fruit and flowers if you have them, and bring those into the extension office and have the master gardeners identify it for you. That's a surefire bet way to know that this is the kind of tree I have in my yard, and this is the management that tree specifically needs.
Okay, now you led right into another one that we have. A lady wrote from the Burley area, and she said, I really am interested in becoming a better gardener. Please have Tony on the next program discuss how I can become a part of the Master Gardener Plan.
That's a great idea. Let's talk about that. So I run a Master Gardener program. It usually runs in the winter months because that's when people don't want to be outside. And it's really hard to have a gardening class in the spring because everybody does not want to spend time indoors. So we usually run it January through the first part of March, through mid-March, somewhere in there. It's a weekly program. I'll have it this year in the Burley area as well as Twin Falls. And I think we're going to do a class up in the Wood River Valley area. So we'll have one night class, and that night class usually rotates through different counties each year. And so for those that are in the working class that can't take time in the morning or in the afternoon, I do offer a night class that rotates around. And eventually, that'll find you in your area. So that's a really good program, and that's going to really give you a good basis. It's basically like a horticulture 101 class at a college.
Wow.
And there are assignments, and there is a final exam, and it's nothing to be too worried about. It's just a lot of fun. And you meet a whole new group of like-minded people that just love bugs and love plants and love vegetables and love flowers. And it's really fun to meet a new group of friends.
When you graduate to be a master gardener, I mean, instead of a diploma, what do you get? Kind of like a pair of grass-stained blue jeans and a little hole, or what do you present these people?
They get a T-shirt as well as a badge with their name on it. It says they are a certified master gardener. They get a certificate signed by the university, as well as, of course, myself. That denotes them as a certified master gardener. The interesting thing about the program is that it is a certification program, and therefore we give 40 hours of instruction in class, and then we give 40 hours of practicum that is required to maintain that certificate or to receive that certification. 15 hours the subsequent years to maintain that certification. So it's a volunteer program. You get to know the group there in the Burley Burley Rupert area. They're working on that garden there on the Riverwalk, and we have master gardeners here working on different projects, beautification projects and educational projects at the libraries. And so it's a great program. It really is.
I got to tell you, Tony, of all the people I've had on this program and all the different segments, I don't think I've had anybody with more enthusiasm and energy in your voice when it comes to horticulture and plants and gardens and lawns and trees. You really like what you're doing, don't you?
Oh, I am a certified plant geek. I really am. I can't get enough of bugs and diseases and problems in the landscape. I just think they're cool. I think it's really cool, the environment we live in, and especially in Idaho, we have some really interesting problems that we get to deal with. And I just find it fascinating. And it's like my job is a job of, I get to learn something new every day.
Well, I'll tell you what, you do a wonderful job, and I've thoroughly enjoyed having you on this segment. It's time to grow. Let's give our sponsors one more big shout-out for all their help on this program.
Thank you all to all my master gardeners, especially the Master Gardener Associations who donated to this program. Monty's Plant Food and Humic Acid. You can find them at the D&Bs in the area. As well as just giving me a call, and I can get you in touch with our local sales rep. And I want to thank my friends at Sears and Burley who supported this program, and especially the Southern Idaho Master Gardener, Southern Idaho Horticulture Program. Please come join us. Check us out at the University of Idaho Extension. Thank you.
You are excellent. Tony McCammon, someday when you're driving by, just kind of veer in the driveway and we'll sit up on the back porch and have a cold iced tea. Thank you so much.
That sounds good, Zeb. Thank you.
Tony McCammon, University of Idaho horticulturalist with the program It's Time to Grow. Boy, the enthusiasm in his voice. He loves what he's doing. Let's not forget, I know some other people that are pretty enthusiastic about what they do, and that's Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 4. They've got all the watercraft for the lakes and the rivers. Oh, cool off and enjoy. They've got all the four-wheelers. They've got all the side-by-sides. Oh, have you been on that showroom? Open the door and just stand there and go, holy cow, how'd they get all this in there? They, of course, have also a great accessory department and a super service department to keep you running. Great people that know fun, because this is where the fun is sold. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. By the way, also over in that area, some really dedicated professionals, and that's Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Health insurance, life insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of these things to help protect you, your family, and your business. So please, I urge you to give them a call. They are very accessible and very devoted to serving you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance. Easy to find on Highway 24, just going into Rupert. Number to call, you take it upon yourself to make the appointment, 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, you get a hold of them today. By the way, too, I want to remind you that Lunch Bunch will be at 11:30 today. 11:30 today, and we're looking forward to having you there, so everybody be there, and our thanks go out for the door prize drawings. Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin with the Redneck Cup holders, everybody trying to be there. By the way, Ag Express is looking for drivers, and all you have to do is just give them a call. Full and part-time positions are available, and retired folks are welcome to apply. Yep, they're looking for drivers, and you're home every night using new and maintained equipment, and they've got the best of vacation schedules and benefit programs, 401k plans. Hey, you'd better give them a call. Dale and Paul at 438-8886. Allen in Twin Falls, 731-2495. And Chad and Burley at 670-7219. Ag Express is looking for drivers. Ag Express is looking for you. Right now on Thursdays, as you know, we have a great visit with a dear friend of ours, and that's Rita Ramsey. Good morning, Rita. How are you?
Good morning. I'm real good, thank you.
Rita, I don't think that you can get out of bed in the morning and read the newspaper or turn on the news and not be astounded. I am every day as to all the different intricacies and messes that are going on, from the Democrats to Trump, and Trump with his tweets, and now Trump with Jeff Sessions. It'll make your head spin.
This world is so topsy-turvy, and Trump wasn't my first choice. But I do see a lot of good things that he's doing, and one of the things is it's about time somebody topsy-turvied Washington, and he definitely has done that, and he is deserving of kudos, I think, because he's doing that. There's a lot of things that I would look and say, Trump, what are you doing? But to put that on the back burner, there's a few things that I think are good, and I don't know how most people feel about the tweets. I don't tweet. I think it's some kind of a weird thing, but it is one way for the president to reach the people without having to have the news media filter it and put their sway on it. So I think it's good that he's tweeting. It's the thing that the kids that are way younger than me, my kids are probably even older than the tweeters that really tweet a lot, because my kids don't tweet. But they do all the other internet stuff and computers, and they're just, really affluent, or really good with it, not affluent.
Rita,
anyway, I think that for Trump to tweet is really good. Like I said, there's a few things I don't agree with things that he's doing, but what the heck?
You and I are really pretty close together on our opinions on most things, and this is one. I also was not, even though on the air I tried to remain as neutral as possible in many stories, but I wasn't really supporting Trump from the get-go and through a lot of the campaign. But what you just said a minute ago is absolutely the truth. I admire the man for what he's trying to do, and that is shake up politics. Get it out of the rut. Get it out of the bowling alley rut of not hitting any pins. He's trying to make Washington work for us instead of it being just kind of a glory-seeking job for the senators and congressmen. I agree with you, but will they let him do it?
Well, they're going to have to start giving in because they're going to be hearing from the American people, I think, pretty heftily if they ignore some of this. And just like the deal yesterday, it really took me by surprise, but I thought that was just typical of Trump and the way that he works. So here he's in a meeting with a bunch of senators, and he's saying, listen, you idiots, did you not forget that you all campaigned on this, get rid of Obamacare, repeal it and everything, and now you don't want to do that?
Yeah.
I think it was really good that he reminded them, hey, this is what you've been running on for the last 7 years to get reelected, and now you don't want to do it. So are you going to be the one that's saying, well, no, I don't want to do it now because you're going to lose your seat? He's just reminding them that that is exactly what the deal is. And you'd never hear another politician saying that. I mean, we heard Mike Lee say that, a few times, but people like Mitch McConnell will try to destroy Mike Lee to no end. And so, as far as everybody in Washington's concerned, Mike Lee doesn't carry any significance, so let's just destroy him and get him out of town. He's just a little goody two-shoes trying to be honest here. Well, we don't want that in Washington. But Donald Trump didn't say he was going to say that, and all of a sudden he's got this big press corps and all the senators that he's invited to eat with him, and this is what he says to them. It's kind of like they probably choked on their food.
Rita, I do maintain, and I think you're going to agree on this too, that there is, even though maybe their names don't come to the forefront, there is a faction of the Republican Party that doesn't like him, and I honestly think they should call themselves Republicrats instead of Republicans, because I think they're doing all they can behind the scenes to subvert this man and his presidency, and I, for one, would like to see the Republicans start changing some of the way they do things and bouncing some people out of certain positions. Am I right or wrong?
No, I think that's exactly right, what they ought to do. The problem is that these people have had control and they're set in their ways and they're not going to let anything happen. And I don't think it's even about money anymore. It's about, I want to be in control
I agree.
Of my little whatever I'm in control of. And I don't really care if I'm in control with the majority or not, but I'm in control with my state. I'm in control with this and that and the other. People think I'm important, and the money's rolling in, and there's a lot of things that they want, and they're going to get it no matter what it takes. And so, yeah, they are trying. I heard Mark Levin say yesterday, and he's been a big supporter of Mike Pence. He says, it just looks to me like that Mike Pence is waiting in the wing, literally. So the question is it the West Wing or is it the right wing or the left wing? And so there's a lot of stuff going around, like, okay, so is Mike Pence really in wait for him, or is he really backing the president? There's that much stuff that's questionable out there that people are starting to say, hey, what is really going on here?
Well, and that leads me to ask you something else this morning that's really flying in front of the liberal news this morning, and they're going to try to take this story and blow it out of proportion like they have many other stories. The Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, recusing himself and really kind of putting the president, regardless of whether it was Trump or anybody else, putting the president in a very awkward position. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, first of all, and this is one thing where you've got Trump, who isn't experienced in the law, Jeff Sessions did what he should have done. The Attorney General is not supposed to be the buddy to the President. He's supposed to enforce the law. And for him to recuse himself because of this specific charges that are, flying around, then okay, fine, go ahead and do the, do the investigation. I won't participate in it. I don't think that he is under obligation. Now, if President Trump doesn't want him and asks him to resign, okay, fine. But Jeff Sessions is an enforcer of the law. There is no one that would enforce it the way it needs to be done more honestly and forthright than he.
I agree with that.
So if President Trump doesn't want him, that's fine. But the Attorney General, unlike Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch, are not supposed to be buddies of the President, and I'll tell you what to do, and you do it. They're just supposed to enforce the law, not be buddies. So, I can see where Trump is coming with this. It's looking kind of bad, but I think Jeff Sessions did the right thing, and right thing apparently wasn't popular, but you know what? What's right is right.
Well, and I agree with you on that. And I will say this, that with the Mueller investigation and his being kind of comfy with James Comey, it just looks like another shot across the bow to not give this Trump administration a fair chance. But I agree with you over Jeff Sessions being one of the most honest, one of the most reputable people we could have in that job. And I personally would not want Trump to get rid of him and or have Jeff Sessions quit.
Well, the thing that's going to happen is if Trump gives him a bunch of baloney and Jeff Sessions decides to tell him to take his job and shove it, there is going to be a bigger scandal about Trump trying to get Jeff Sessions to do what he wants when it was illegal and Sessions wouldn't do it. That's the way it'll all spin.
I agree with that.
And so I think that Trump ought to just, okay, Trump said a few things. He said, I don't like the fact that he recused himself because I don't think that he should have. But that's neither here nor there. And be done with it.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I want to change gears a little bit and talk to you about another story that the liberals and the Democrats and MSNBC and Joe in the Morning and Mika and all these people are going nuts about, is that Trump got up from a table at an open dinner at the G20 summit, walked around the edge of the table and visited a few moments with Putin at a dinner where there were over 80 photographers, hundreds of cameras, and the left is saying, oh, he had a secret meeting with Putin. What are your thoughts about this?
Well, first of all, Trump doesn't do anything by the book, and that's good. Like I said, I think he's just really stirring things up in Washington, and it's about time somebody did. The other thing that is kind of makes you wonder, and this was brought up on one that I was listening to last night, one of the news things is that, okay, so if Trump does this without interpreters and everything, do we know that everything's going the right direction as far as communicating goes? Not necessarily that Trump didn't have a right to do that, but how do you know that there's nothing lost in interpretation? So I don't really think it's a big thing, and they probably didn't talk policy or anything, but, sometimes you need to have all of your people there and kind of go by, okay, this is the way that we need to do this. So I think it was okay. I'm okay with it.
Well, on the other side of that coin, though, Angela Merkel from Germany was the host for that summit, and she had the seating chart and originally had Mrs. Trump sitting right next to Putin. Now, Mrs. Trump, can speak in 5 languages, and I'm sure that they could converse back and forth very comfortably. There wasn't really too much hubbub about that.
Oh, yeah, that would be too easy. They just want to make a big deal because Trump didn't have it on his little itinerary for all the news people to know that they needed to scurry over to Putin before Trump got there.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to you about the O.J. Simpson case in a moment. It just seems like it won't go away like a bad case of the flu. I'm going to do a weather forecast, and we'll be right back with more with Rita Ramsey. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company CPAs have been providing accounting services to the Mini-Cash area for well over 50 years with absolutely the best in tax return preparation, tax planning, business consulting, bookkeeping services, retirement planning, and so much more. And I urge you to get a hold of them today. They are the best at what they do in serving you. Offices in Burley and Rupert, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Another typical summer southern Idaho day. We are looking at partly to mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour, so that'll be our cool off. High of 90 is what we're expecting tonight, low of 52. Sunset is going to be at 9:06 tonight if you want to check that out. For tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 89 with an overnight low of 53. For Saturday, again, sunny skies, high of 90 with an overnight low of 56. High of 93 for Sunday, and as we go back into work on Monday, sunny skies, high of about 94. That is your weather for Zep at the Ranch.
Gina, thank you. The weather brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. CPAs that can and will help you with your financial situation for your home and your business. Call the best to work for you. And that's, of course, in Burley and Rupert, Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Also, a quick reminder about Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center at 924 Christian Way in Rupert. Number to call, 436-3200. They are the only locally owned and operated assisted living facility in the Mini-Cash area, and believe me, they make every effort to make Autumn Haven the best place. They encourage you to visit and find out more about them for the possibility of your loved one staying there. At Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center, they're small compared to some, but with a bigger heart than most. Please call them today, 436-3200, Autumn Haven Assisted Living Center. Rita, it just 1994, and then, of course, the brutal murders of Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman, and then the court case with O.J. Simpson and Johnny Cochran and Simpson's team of all the high-priced lawyers, and Johnny Cochran saying if it don't fit, you have to acquit when it came to putting the leather gloves on, which I thought was a farce. And O.J. Simpson kind of had the jury in his hind pocket, and he walked away free. And then later, in 2007, gets arrested for going after some memorabilia experts in Las Vegas, and he gets sentenced to 33 years in prison, and today he's up for parole. Whew! What do you think about O.J. Simpson?
Well, I really think that he did it.
I do too.
I don't think he did it alone, so I think whoever helped him is still out there. However, you can't try him for the same thing twice, and if he was acquitted, he should of that. But this other thing that he was, jailed for, I think that if his parole is up, he's probably, I don't think that he should be able to, but I think law-wise, he's entitled to have his day in court and see if they'll let him go, because it was such lesser charges than before. But with every fiber of my being, I think that he did it, but I don't think he did it alone. I don't understand how one person could do that much all by themselves. I think one of those hippie-type guys that was his best buddy or his roommate or whoever, one of those people was in on it.
Rita,
went scot-free.
What I'm afraid of, and I think you'll agree on this also, is that Simpson has always been a media glory hound ever since he played football in the NFL. And if he gets paroled, I honestly think his personality will not tell him to go to a little private secluded place in Florida, keep his mouth shut, maybe go golfing with some of his buddies, but don't get the media after you and make a lot of rash statements. But I don't think he can do that. I think he's got to stick his big mouth out in front of the public, and I think he's going to say and do something that's going to cause a lot of trouble.
Well, there are media hogs out there, and he is one of them. He wants to be involved in it no matter what it takes to do it. And I think you're absolutely right, and I think it'll land him into more trouble. He ought to just quietly say, you know what, okay, I just want to have a life. Just leave me alone.
I agree. There's another man that I wanted to talk about this morning. I have not agreed with him on almost every situation in politics. I have criticized him on my program on a frequent basis. But this morning I take on a different tone because that's politics, and this is part of being a human being. John McCain has brain cancer, and I said in the first hour, our thoughts and prayers go out to the man, and regardless of past ideology or politics, I wish him the best.
Well, just being a regular human being, that's the way that we all feel. I definitely disagree with a lot of his policies and the way that he votes and everything. And I think if I was his wife, I'd say, you know what? We need to deal with your health. Step down.
Yeah.
Just let us deal with your health. Criminy, he's 80-some years old or close to 80. It's time for him to just bow out and get better and let somebody else take care of matters in Washington.
I totally agree. I've got to ask you, in the USA Today the other day, they featured some of the possible politicians that are in the entertainment business that may be running for office in 2018. And three that really were prominent were Kid Rock, The Rock, Mr. Johnson, and Bruce Jenner. I refuse to call him by his transgendered name. I will not stoop that low. And what are your thoughts about that marquee of people getting involved in national politics?
Well, first of all, was it Minnesota or one of those places that elected what's his name, the wrestler guy?
Oh, boy, you're talking about Jesse Ventura, the former wrestler.
So how'd that work out for them?
Oh, it was peachy. Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing with these people. They may be people who are recognized by the majority of people who watch TV. Oh, yeah, I recognize him. But they're just people who they haven't built businesses. They haven't been in business. They don't have experience under their belt as far as knowing how to deal with various different things, let alone diplomacy and anything else. They basically have a manager and a bunch of people saying, you do this and you do this and you do this, and they do it so that they can get their paycheck and keep their mug out there where they're popular, and everybody gets paid and everybody smiles, and that's wonderful. That's all they know how to do. I don't give them any credibility in being a leader at this point.
Well, how can they, actors, entertainers, singers, dancers, and in Bruce Jenner's case, a wreck, how can they elevate themselves and their intelligence, like you just said a moment ago, to go from basically, many of them are all undereducated. A lot of them are, and a lot of them basically made it through high school by the skin of their teeth, but all of a sudden their IQs seem to jump up when they get in the entertainment field, and everybody thinks they're the smartest thing since sliced bread. I just don't understand that.
Well, I think it's all, we live in this reality world where it's like, oh, they're so smart because they're on TV. Well, you know what? They're not as smart as the next guy. They just happen to be on TV where they've got a big camera, and they're not doing anything. The big problem with America is that we have elected people to run our cities, counties, states, and the United States of America by people who don't have any common sense. They don't have any business sense. They don't have common sense. It's like, oh, they're just a pretty name, and they went up the ladder, so they got it was time for them to have their turn. And it's just not working out really good. I mean, look at California. Governor Brown, really? They elected him twice? Are they any better off than they were before? No, if they had a brain in their head, they would see, the times that we really saw things working really good was when Ronald Reagan was in there.
That's right.
And he was doing fiscal things that were good and responsible and everything. And that, right now, Governor Brown is trying to get other people to go along with him on the Paris Climate Accord, because we're going to do it anyway, even if Trump doesn't want to. And all they're going to do is totally hurt their city, their state, or whatever, just to spite Trump.
I agree. Hey, by the way, I got to ask you, I got about 30 seconds left here. What about the Tea Party? Anything going on?
Nope, we're not having Tea Party meetings during the summer.
Okay. Rita, I always appreciate having you on the program during the Thursday show. Thank you so much. God bless you, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend out there. Thank you again.
Okay, thanks, bye.
All right, take care. I love having her on the show, Rita Ramsey. She will tell it like it is. Thank you very much. Let me see what I've got to do here. Oh, yeah, I can relate to this. At this time of the morning, if you're like me and you get up really early in the morning, I am hungry and starving to death. Oh, do I know some great places to go for lunch today? Let me tell you about them. How about the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley? They've got the orange and lemonade freezes. Ooh, so tasty for hot weather. And, of course, they've got the famous Farmer Brown burgers and the chicken fried steak sandwiches with the fries and the special sauce. I'm drooling already. It's great. Always is at the AC Drive-In. 601 East Main in Burley. Well, let's move over to Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Oh, my goodness. The Taco Bandito has bacon with jalapeno in it. Oh, make your eyes wide awake. There you go. And they got the new pork burritos with beans pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. It's delicious. You're going to love all the food right there at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Well, do you know that Burgers Etc. has two locations? Yep, they do. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And in the afternoon, after 3 p.m., root beer floats only 99 cents and fresh strawberry shakes. And they got all the burgers and they got taco salads and, oh, it's just wonderful. Great people serving you at Burgers Etc. in Rupert and Burley. Well, let's not forget Steve-O's at 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. Oh, that famous patio is open if you didn't know it. Music every Friday and Saturday night. You can enjoy the great music and the atmosphere. Wow! And they got a new salad called the Chaos Salad. Chicken breast with bacon, pickles, jalapeno peppers, and all the goodies. And super nice people, too. Along with buffalo burgers. You got to have one. It's great. And believe me, you'll enjoy the dining at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 west of Hayburn. And last but not least, Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. Oh, my goodness. They've been voted the best pizza in the Mini-Cache area again for 2017. And they've got all the different kinds of pizzas, including a new dessert pizza. Ooh, oh, my. Oreo cookie drizzle pizza. Sounds really, really good. All the sub soups and salads and more for great eating at Doc's Pizza, 514 6th Street in Rupert. And those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. I am. Okay, let's take it back over to the main studios right now. Wheel's going to play a little music, and we'll go to the news from CBS and be back in about 7 minutes. Have a great day. Oh, my. Welcome back. Kind of a little overcast this morning. I didn't expect that. I thought we'd have sunny blue skies. Few clouds out there. Good morning, Zev at the Ranch. And, of course, our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, some of our great advertisers like Western Way Services, always at your disposal. Call, get on the route service, 734-6969. In a couple of minutes, we're going to have Cache County School Days, but boy, oh boy, have I got to tell you about what's going on over at Oakley for the Pioneer Days. Woo, boy, they are in full swing and a lot of fun, and a lot of the businesses over there, they say, come on up here and enjoy the fun like Searles at 106 Center Street in Oakley. All the gas, the grub, and the goodies, and they make those Searles specialty buns fresh every day for their sandwiches sandwiches. They are delicious. You'll never go hungry when you stop at Searles in Oakley. And also, Speaker of the House Representative Scott Bedke, rancher in the Oakley area, would like to invite everybody up there this weekend to the best celebration in Idaho, the Oakley Pioneer Days. And he wants you to have fun and celebrate all that they do in that great town, great western town of Oakley. Scott Bedke, Speaker of the House and Representative. And last but not least, Smith's Cafe at 135 East Main in Oakley. My goodness, they open up at 6:30 in the morning till 1, Monday through Saturday, and they're open until 11 a.m. on Sundays. And oh boy, have they got delicious burgers and onion rings, everything at Smith's Cafe, 135 East Main in Oakley, and they invite you up to Pioneer Days. Well, now what's going on tonight is they've got that great big gymkhana at 6 o'clock. That's right. It's the world's biggest gymkhana, I think. And then tomorrow night and Saturday night, of course, don't forget the open rodeo co-sanctioned with the IMPRA and fireworks. And on tomorrow, Friday night, they're going to have a big dance and basketball tournaments, volleyball tournaments, entertainment in the park. And my goodness, don't forget the time change for the big Oakley Pioneer Days Parade is going to be 11:30 on Saturday morning. 11:30. It is going to be outstanding. Everybody try to be there. Oakley Pioneer Days this weekend, our pioneer heritage, past, present, and future. Wonderful people and a lot of fun. Oh, boy, let's see. Don't forget Lunch Bunch today. We're going to be over there at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, at 611 North Overland and Burley, and we really, really want you to be a part of it, so come on down. I'm going to be leaving the program a little bit early this morning, and we're going to be jumping in the car and getting over to Burley for Lunch Bunch. And again, our thanks to all of our gift certificate sponsors, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, and Doug Martin with the original Redneck Cup holder, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, it's time for Cache County School Days, and brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland and Burley, with all the baby gifts, all the baby furniture, all the baby clothing. Oh my goodness, for birthday presents and fun and games and puzzles, it's all there at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And also the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Number to call, number to remember for your outpatient surgeries so they can save you money, 677-8888. Once again, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center, along with A Child's World, bringing you School Days in Cache County. And we're really fortunate to have a gentleman that's a good friend, not only to this program, but to myself personally, and that, of course, Superintendent of Schools, Galen Smyer. Good morning, Galen. How are you?
Doing well, Zeb, and good morning to you.
Now, I would assume that you're probably getting up at about 6:30 in the morning during the summer and having a light breakfast and going to your favorite fishing spot and fishing the day away. Is that not right?
Well, actually, I had my annual physical recently, and the doctor prescribed the fishing, but I haven't been able to get any of that in.
I know you're really busy because during the summer months, I would imagine everything is at a full gallop to get all the facilities ready for the school year, and that is looming on the horizon. Bring us up to speed on that.
Well, we've actually got two aspects of that, Zeb. There are certainly the new facilities that are being constructed and are coming online, but there's maintenance and in all of the other facilities as well. And they're in cleaning carpets and painting and doing a lot of maintenance things that get ready for students, and that is just around the corner. Once you hit the 1st of August, it just seems like that next few weeks just flies past, and we find ourselves right back into a school year. And so there is a lot of activity going on. We've got subcontractors in doing various projects, and it's an exciting time, and it's a busy time. A lot of people don't really see that because it's work inside the buildings that unless you go in, you wouldn't be aware that there's much going on. But there is a lot of activity in anticipation of another school year.
You know,
and of course, our new projects, the schools are the construction is progressing. We'll be ready for the start of school. In some cases, there'll still be some construction activities occurring after school starts, but we're going to be ready for students on the last week of August.
You know, let me ask you this question, and I'm pretty naive when it comes to the coordinated effort here, but now, is it through the superintendent's office? Is it through the local school boards? I mean, how do they coordinate telling everybody, okay, we got to have these rooms painted by such and such a date. We've got to have this finished and built. We got to have this cement work done by such and such a date. That takes a lot of coordination, doesn't it?
It does take a lot of coordination, and we work with the principals and with our district maintenance people, and we put together a rotation schedule because we're switching out flooring in some of the classrooms and painting in others, and we develop a rotation list for those kinds of things, and then we also go in and work on critical needs in other areas that are associated with either of those. And sometimes just the carpet will start to separate from the floor because the glue fails, and it becomes a bit of a trip hazard, so we've got to go in and tear out some of those when we really didn't plan to. They weren't part of the rotation, but nevertheless we do some of that every year to try to maintain a safe environment for students and staff.
All right. Now, I would imagine, and help me on this too, but I would imagine there is turnover as far as teachers and staff and personnel every year. How do you go about during the summer months making sure that when you open up the classrooms in August or September, there's going to be a teacher in every classroom and there's going to be janitors and everything else? That's kind of a tough job to make sure all the staffing's there, isn't it?
That is an increasingly difficult problem. Back in the day, and I'm going to say back in the day, 10 years ago, we had multiple applicants for each vacancy. Now we're sometimes struggling to even find one applicant for a particular vacancy. And fortunately, we've been the principals are aggressive in their recruiting and trying to identify people. The State Department of Education has worked with us, and the State Board of Education is we're able to take people that have a degree, maybe in a not educated or not an education degree per se, but they've got expertise and a degree in another area that is applicable or transferable to an education discipline, and so we can work with the state to get those folks certified, and we've done a number of those in recent years. But we have started the school year with a long-term sub in a classroom while we're still scrambling to find somebody qualified to teach that particular subject. And so we've been very fortunate, but we've got people now teaching that I think when they started their education didn't see themselves as a teacher one day, but now because of circumstances they want to have a schedule that's comparable to their students, and they have expertise in a particular discipline where we have a need, and we can get the two together. And we've been very fortunate to benefited from some of those people who were normally outside of education, who have come into education and contributed immensely.
You know, I would imagine that a perfect world, we wouldn't need lawyers, we wouldn't need legal consultation, everybody could get along and everybody'd smile and shake hands. But what about today? It's not like that, and we've got to make sure that we have the highest and best qualified people as far as like legal counsel for school districts, etc. What about Cassia County?
Well, as you know, Zeb, society in general has become far more litigious than it once was, and I think that's just the nature of the lives that we live and the way people do business. And we've been very fortunate. A year ago, Doug Whipple was our attorney, and he retired. and the board hired Michael Tribe to represent the school district, and he was just recently appointed by Governor Otter to be a judge. And so to fill that vacancy, the board has engaged Lance Loveland from Parsons Smith, Stone, Loveland, and Shirley law firm here in town. And so we're excited to be able to work with Lance, and because there are a number of things contractually, and then sometimes you have personnel issues and some student issues where we need legal guidance as we're making decisions. As you know, a decision can only be as good as the information upon which it's based. And so we seek counsel so that when we're making decisions about things, it can be the best decision it could possibly be.
You know, one other subject I wanted to touch base with you on this morning is school safety. And when I think back to my early years in elementary school at a one-room country schoolhouse, safety was going in the school, sitting down at the desk, and just waiting till recess. But today things have changed. What about school safety and all the items that have to be addressed?
Unfortunately, things are changing in that regard, and again, that's a sign of times and a sign of societal things. Zeb, when you and I were in school, in a high school in particular, it was not uncommon for us to have a shotgun behind the seat of the pickup.
That's right.
And after football practice, we would go hunt pheasants before we would go home.
That's right.
Now, we never had any problems, but guns and schools nowadays are two very different issues. And so because of some of the things that have happened across the country, there's an increased sensitivity and an awareness, and we are putting in facilities in our schools and taking precautions so that we can control access to schools. That's one of the primary things we're doing, is limiting the access and trying to funnel people through the front office so that somebody just can't slip in a back door and cause a problem. We've been working with the State Division of Building Safety. They have some folks that come around and just check on our schools, and they'll come in and do what they call a walk around or walk through. And it's interesting. We've got to train our students as well, because here are people that are not from the community, nobody's familiar with them, and they'll walk up to a door and rattle a handle, and a well-mannered student will come up and open the door and let them in.
Yeah.
And so there's part of this training and for safety is an awareness that procedurally we've got to do things a certain way if we're going to try to protect students and staff.
Let me ask you this, Galen. Pardon my interruption, but I wanted to ask you a point right there, if I could. Do we, as a very conservative rural state and area, do we have to adopt the policies that are going on in the inner city, or vice versa? I mean, where are we on this?
We don't have to. Their guidelines are set forth, and I'm not aware of any metal detectors in Idaho in any of the schools, but that's not a question that I've particularly asked of my fellow superintendents. But everybody is safety-minded, whether it's supervision outside the building, security within the building, transportation safety, and on and on. So there are things that we continually try to do to improve safety, and a lot of it is just outside threat. Safety used to be on a playground, occasional fight or injury on the playground, and those things still happen. But we try to address those as best we can. But there's always in the back of our mind the possibility that somebody could come in for whatever reason and want to do harm to students or staff. And occasionally we get into some difficult situations where we have custody issues between two parents that can become very contentious, and sometimes those worry us a bit because people get highly emotionally charged when those issues occur. And so it's just a broad spectrum of things, but it's something that your listeners need to know, that it's more than just fire drills. We're looking at things and trying to anticipate and be prepared. Of course, we can't prevent much, but we can respond as best we can should a situation arise.
Absolutely. Galen, real quick, I've got about 45 seconds left in this segment. As we mentioned and alluded to earlier, school is just around the corner. Anything parents need to know before the first day of school, any information they need to have right now?
Zeb, every year at the beginning of school, particularly for our kindergarten and first graders, we have a challenge with the kids showing up and not having the correct immunizations. And so to emphasize one thing, it would be that for those children who are school age who are not current on their immunizations, to take this next month to try to make arrangements to get with the health district or with their physician and get their immunizations up to date so that everybody's protected.
Absolutely. I want to thank a dear friend and, of course, the superintendent of schools for Cassia County, Galen Smyer. Galen, God bless you, man. Thank you so much for being on the show, and go catch that big lunker in that pond.
There you go. Thanks, Zeb, and have a great day.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Good luck with your lunch bunch.
Thank you very much. I really like that man. He's been so kind to Deanna and I in this program over the many years, and I appreciate him. Galen Smyer, Superintendent of Schools, Cassia County. Thank you very much. Holy cow, Wheels, we've got to take another interview right now with our good friend Juan over at Barry Equipment and Rental. Let's see if he's on the air. Good morning, Juan. Are you there?
I am here, and good morning.
What in the world are you doing inside when you should be out teaching somebody in the great big sandbox how to run a Bobcat?
I just came from the sandbox with an auger attachment on the skidster. I had a customer saying that he needs to put down 120 poles for his fence, and I said, well, I got the machine for you. And I just let him hop in it, taught him how to run the hydraulics, and we dug about 10 holes in 3 minutes. He was just zipping and zapping out. So he just loaded them up on the trailer, and he just left.
Well, let me ask you something, Juan. How many years have you been there with Barry Equipment and Rental in Burley?
I've been going on for 3 years now.
Now, when you made the application to go to work there, did you know how to run all the equipment, or did you have to go through a crash course yourself?
Oh, I had a pretty good idea how to run stuff. I grew up on a dairy farm, moving hand lines and working on pivots, and I got on most everything, all the equipment there. So I had a pretty good idea. But these Bobcats, they're pretty nifty because I was taught that on a skidster you could only do the hand controls to drive and the feet to move the bucket. Well, these Bobcats are pretty fancy, and they have every single direction that you want. If you only want to use your hands, it has a function for the hands. And if you want to use your feet, you just hit a switch, and the hydraulics move around, and you have that operation as well.
So you mean a guy like me that's all busted up and my legs aren't worth two hoots and a holler, I can come in there and it's all hand-controlled on those Bobcats?
Yep, absolutely, and it will work just fine.
Okay, now they come in different shapes and sizes, to depend on the job. How do you tell people what they need?
Well, we just ask them what they're doing. Just for example, this customer, he's putting up a fence. He only needed an S590 with the auger attachment. Now, if someone that's moving big piles of dirt on a slope, we got this nice T650 that'll do the job. That it's a track unit, and it moves great.
Okay, now I got to get back. We still got a lot of lawn mowing for the rest of the summer, and those walker mowers, boy, you can really cut some grass, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. It leaves a beautiful cut. It's a well-balanced machine, and like Walker says, you have the best seat in the house. And it also has a grass fill system that lets you know when the basket's full, it beeps at you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So it just beep, beep, and then you go over and... Is it easy to dump and get unloaded and go back to mowing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's easy to lift the catcher on it and dump the grass, and it's just a well-built machine. and also it has the true floating deck system. So you'd have to try to scalp, and it's really difficult to get a scalping out of those walker motors because the floating deck is just a unique feature.
Oh, my goodness. You do have all the equipment to get the jobs done right. And give us the locations of Barry Equipment and Rental. You guys are all over the valley.
Yep. We got our Nampa location, and then we got our Twin Falls off of 465 Addison Avenue, and we got the best store in Burley, Idaho here at 159 West Highway 30.
And what are the hours over there, Juan?
We are 7:30 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 5 on Saturdays.
Okay, and it's real easy for equipment rentals and retail equipment sales. They just come by, and like we said earlier, if they don't know how to run the equipment, you can take them out, and it won't take long at all to get accustomed to what to do.
Absolutely. We want to make sure you're ready for your job.
Juan, I want to wish you a great summer, and stay cool, my friend, and we'll send everybody over to Barry Equipment and Rental at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley, and also in Jerome and Twin Falls. Thanks, Juan. Appreciate you being on the program.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you, my friend. Very nice young man right there. Juan over at Barry Equipment and Rental. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a little break in just a moment and send it back over to Wheels. And then we've got a short segment coming up in a couple of minutes with Jim Evans, the Senior Vice President of the D.L. Evans Banks for the state of Idaho. And we're going to find out more about the startup of the bank, the family, and I want to thank them for their involvement in helping us with the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame for this year, our banquet and induction time on July 28th and 29th. But right now, let's send it back to Wheels. I'll be back in just a few minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Over the many, many years that I've lived in this area after moving out here from the Midwest, and I've been here 50 years, I have really been enjoying the various families and the various parts of our Magic Valley. And the Evans name, of course, with banking. I've known the family for many, many years. And this gentleman, unfortunately, I've never had the chance to sit and visit with him and find out more about what he does and how he got started in banking. And we're going to talk to the Senior Vice President of D.L. Evans Banks, Jim Evans. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Zeb. Doing great.
You know, I've got to ask you before I thank you for your involvement in our Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame, but you were born into a banking family heritage. Did you ever think at any time that you would go out and do something else, like maybe become a lawyer, a doctor, or anything but a banker?
You know, I'm a fifth-generation family banker, so it was pretty clear from a very young age that this would be a good route for me to take. My dad put me to work when I was about 8 years old. My first job was sweeping parking lots and pulling weeds, but started working at the bank at a very young age, so my path was set.
Let me ask you this question. From the time that D.L. Evans Bank started here in the state of Idaho, or banking back in that era, has banking per se changed across the United States?
You know, the fundamentals are still the same. Of course, things change with regulation and new laws and such. But the fundamentals of lending money to hardworking people that'll pay you back has not changed. And we've been successful at doing that. And we get through the regulations; they're there, and we do our best to comply. But the fundamentals have not changed.
I would imagine, and a lot of people say, oh, I got to make this payment, or I've got to do this, I've got to run to the bank. But when they really sit down and analyze it, do people understand that your local bank, like the D.L. Evans Banks, you're really a cheerleader for everybody to be successful, because then everybody wins, right?
That's right. That's right. Their success is our success. So we sit down with our customers and analyze their projects, and we like to think we're partners with them, and and we point out things that we see that may be helpful for them, and hope to lead to success for their business and their family.
Well, now tell us a little bit about D.L. Evans Banks, the start. Give us a little thumbnail sketch of history, the start, and where you are now in the state of Idaho, and how widespread.
Sure. D.L. Evans was started in Albion in 1904 by my great-great-grandfather with $25,000 back then. We stayed a single-branch institution until 1979 when we moved down the hill to Burley. My dad, John Evans Jr., became involved in the bank. At that time, we'd grown to about $8 million in assets, and with his leadership, the bank has now grown to over $1.3 billion in assets. We're the largest Idaho-based community bank, and with 29 full-service branches. So we've come a long way over the years, and we owe a lot of our success to the Idaho ranching and farming families of the Magic Valley Mini-Cassia. Without their support over the last 110 years, we definitely wouldn't be where we're at today. So we owe a lot of our success to local people.
And Jim, I think it goes without saying that still today in 2017, agriculture still number one in the state of Idaho, whether it's the dairy industry, whether it's row crop, sugar beets, cattle, that is still the number one interest of all the folks in the state of Idaho.
Absolutely. You bet.
You know, I got to thank you for your involvement, D.L. Evans Banks, in helping us promote a part of agriculture, if you will, and that's with the rodeo business, which is livestock-centered, and the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame that we're going to have our banquet and induction ceremony on July 28th and 29th at the Canyon Crest Events Center. And on Friday night, Jim, we're going to have a Tough Enough to Wear Pink night, where a percentage of the proceeds go to breast cancer awareness with St. Luke's Foundation. And on Saturday night, the Hall of Fame induction with the dinner at 6, the social hour at 5, preceding that. And then we're going to be honoring some of the great legends that have been involved in rodeo, like Dean Oliver. So I know that your family has been heavily involved in various events like this, and I say thank you for your involvement.
Well, you bet. It's our pleasure. Rodeo is part of Idaho's heritage, and we appreciate the mission of the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame and recognizing the men and women who've led such distinguished lives and careers, specifically to the farming and ranching industry. So we're happy to support it.
Jim, what does Jim Evans do in his spare time to go out and let his hair down a little bit? Are you into rafting or boating or fishing or horseback riding? What do you like to do in your spare time?
I like to, be a weekend rancher. I go up to, southeastern Idaho. Family has a ranch over there, and I try to play cowboy a little bit. Bankers don't make very good cowboys, but we sure like acting like it. So.
Yeah, but come every morning, there's a banker with saddle sores, right?
Yeah.
Jim, I want to thank you for taking the time to come on our program. I've had nothing but respect for family, the Evans name, and D.L. Evans Bank, and I thank you so much for your involvement in the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame and your time here this morning. Thank you, sir.
My pleasure, Zeb. Thank you very much.
Very kind. Thank you. The Senior Vice President of the D.L. Evans Banks, and that's, of course, Jim Evans. And I've known this family on a personal level for many, many years. Super nice people. By the way, I want to comment quickly. The Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame is going to have the first night, Friday night, July 28th, the Tough Enough to Wear Pink night, Give Cancer the Boot. A percentage of the proceeds goes to the breast cancer awareness program with St. Luke's Foundation, and we're so happy to work with Terry Rao and the rest of those folks. It's only a $10 entry fee, and it's from 5 to 8 p.m. on Friday night, the 28th. Then on Saturday night, the 29th, the Hall of Fame induction, 5 p.m. social hour, dinner at 6. Tickets are $25, and we're going to be honoring some of the best rodeo legends in the state of Idaho. And again, compliments and thanks to the D.L. Evans Banks and also Tech Distributing, your Coors dealer, along with Canyon Crest Event Center. Now, for tickets, don't forget to get a hold of Katie at Canyon Crest at 733-9392. excuse me, 733-9392 for the Idaho Rodeo Hall of Fame, 28th and 29th of July. We've got to get a weather forecast on here right now, and the weather is brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657, and the website so you can check out all the delicious retail meats at Scarro's Meats, scarrosmeats.com. You check it out, and don't forget they've got all the delicious breakfast sausages, the bratwurst, and so much more at Scarro's Meats. And right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Another typical summer southern Idaho day. We are looking at partly to mostly sunny skies for today. A little bit on the breezy side, winds out of the west, 10 to 15 miles an hour, so that'll be our cool off. High of 90 is what we're expecting tonight, low of 52. Sunset is going to be at 9:06 tonight if you want to check that out. For tomorrow, sunny skies, high of 89 with an overnight low of 53. For Saturday, again, sunny skies, high of 90 with an overnight low of 56. High of 93 for Sunday, and as we go back into work on Monday, sunny skies, high of about 94. That is your weather for Zeb at the Ranch.
She does a great job, and I appreciate her. Gina, thank you very much. And the weather brought to you by Scarro's Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. Oh, it's true. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. In a few moments, I'm going to have to get in the old automobile and head down the road to get to Lunch Bunch, and I urge you to be there. We try to do this once a month and just have a good time. 50, 60, 70 people, and we'd love to increase our numbers and have you be there at Denny's Restaurant, America's Diner, at 611 North Overland in Burley. And we want to thank our gift certificate donors, Smith's Food, Hanson Mortuary, Stokes Groceries, Doug Martin with the official Redneck Cup holders, and just have a lot of fun and great food, too, at Denny's Restaurant. Thank you to our major sponsor, and that, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. They want you to get where you're going this summer and then return safely. They've got the best of tires for your cars, pickups, and SUVs, like the Eclipse tire for your car, premium traction, superior ride quality, starting at just $63.64. And I'll tell you what, they just really want to make sure you drive safely. They've got a free pre-trip safety check that I talked about last hour, which includes checking the air pressure in your tires, wheel alignment for tire wear, front-end components, brake components to make sure when you say stop, you're going to stop. Shocks and struts, battery, including a load test. They just really provide a service for your driving safety at all 7 locations. Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Well, Wheels, are you there by the microphone, old Podna?
I am.
I am going to turn it over to you, and you'll be able to play quarterback and do whatever you want for a couple of minutes, and maybe play some really good tunes, and we'll have everybody stop at Lunch Bunch at Denny's Restaurant at 611 North Overland in Burley. I hope you get a chance to miss it. It wouldn't be Lunch Bunch without you.
It definitely wouldn't. I mean, to be honest, I love coming to Lunch Bunch. You know, the enthusiasm that everybody has and the sarcasm and stuff. It makes for a good time. And honestly, I think I've only actually missed one. If I can't make it today, this would be my second time. But let me tell you, I haven't missed one. Well, except for the one and maybe today, but every other Lunch Bunch I've been to, it's been a great time.
All right, and besides that, you were lucky enough to win some of the door prizes too.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to be going fishing. We're going to be going fishing one of these days, but I want to personally say thank you to you for filling in for the next little bit with some great tunes. I'll jump on the road right now and head down to Burley for Lunch Bunch, and we will see everybody back here next Monday at 8:06 on Zeb at the Ranch on K-Bar 1230 a.m. and then streaming live on the internet, zebbell.com. And remember, the way things were are the way way things ought to be. Wheels, have a great weekend, buddy. See you Monday.